The following contains footage from the computer version because sadly I don't have a capture card on my Nintendo Switch Lite, so I couldn't record any footage. But what I did do is memorize all the choices I made and the recaps, so all of them will be explained using nothing but YouTube and the internet. So I hope you enjoy the recap. 1. I said I can handle it. Chased a Catwoman, grabbed a hawk to the ceiling, and then I told Catwoman no one else can do it and I'm the only man who can do it. And then me and Catwoman did an epic fight with my first time doing the combat. After a fight, I got shot in the ribcage by a stupid police who disobeyed Gordon's orders. I saved Catwoman, and then I told her, don't struggle or you'll fall, and then she clawed me in the face. So yeah, that was actually pretty rude. So yeah, even though I got... And the Switch version, I couldn't even tell if... Oh god, so that's what it looks like. So yeah, I got shot pretty bad. And then I got a first time to experience Harvey Dent's Presidential. And then I supported Harvey Dent by saying, welcome to Wayne Manor. And then I told him, while I was late, I told him I was working a night shift. This topic was kind of confusing, so so this is what I did. I just finished drink. And then to support Harvey, I said, our hope is in Harvey. And then during the beginning, we see a familiar face we might see eventually. Penguin. And then I was supportive of Harvey's friends by telling them tonight is all about Harvey. And I gave these two more support by telling them Harvey Dent can. And then after them telling me about Batman's parent death, I said thank you for the sympathy. Bruce Wayne saying, quote, my parents would be proud if they were still here. Then we got to meet Vicky Vale. And I said nicely to her, I do mind actually. I thought it was I don't mind, so that was a little bit of a mistake. Also, as an excuse after the scratch I got for Catwoman, I just said, quote, cut myself while shaving. Hey, I cut myself while shaving. Oh wait, I can't. Because I have Philips Series 300, the one I always use for shaving. Then Alfred warns me about Falcone, who looks very suspicious. And then as supportive again, I said, quote, I'm trusting you, Harvey, 'cause we're best friends. Well, at least until the two... And then after talking with Falcone, I said, quote, let's talk privately. And I accidentally shook his hand, which it was a hard decision, but hey, in this game, I'm gonna be a respectful Bruce Wayne. So yeah. I should have pressed the refuse button, but I accidentally shaked his hand on accident. And then I let Harvey come with us. So I told Harvey he comes with us, so I let Harvey come in as respect. And then after a conversation that almost looks very, very confusing to me, but hey, during this topic, I kept supporting for Harvey, so I said, quote, Harvey will make Gotham better. So after a suspicious talk with Falcone, I left it on the table. And after a threat that almost looks like him playing a game of pool, which something about, quote, about his friends. And after a suspicious talk featuring his suspicious face, along with Bruce Wayne's confused face. Like I said respectfully, I'm doing this for Harvey. And after him mentioning my father, and after his weirdest expressions on his face, I said, quote, you should go. Alfred luckily was able to be supportive of all the fine guests leaving. Told Alfred I love this cave, and who am I kidding, I love the Batcave as well. In fact, this entire shack is like my Batcave, but except it's the M64 fortress. Pretty cool. And then to be respectful to Alfred, I told him thank you for his help. Then later I promised Alfred that I'll stay out of sight, and then I told Alfred he's right. And then we got to be introduced to Penguin, and I said, quote, I'll give him a chance. And then I looked at the graffiti, gave a homeless guy some money, as respect.
Thank you, sir.
Warmed my hands up near the fire. And then I came to cross some gains, and I said, quote, just walk away. And then me and Penguin fighted the criminals, unloaded some guns, and then I slammed a guy into a concrete, and then Penguin helped me out. Pretty shocking. And then I was supportive for Penguin saying, quote, thanks for the help. And then after talking about the origins of what the park used to be, I said, quote, you're right. And then to make things with Copplepot even, I told him, quote, I lost my parents too. And then after a conversation, that looked pretty confusing, so I just said nothing. And then that part was confusing too, so I just said nothing as well.
Which is why I'm warning you. When this whole thing starts, make sure you're on the right side.
I will, Penguin. Well, eventually. And then after that, we go to Harvey Dent's convention. And then, as a respectful Bruce Wayne, I said to everyone, good morning. And then Alfred texted me, need to talk. And I said, what's up? Alfred told me, call me ASAP. And then during the conversation, I said, my parents would be honored. And then, Bruce Wayne told everyone about the whole parent death night, and everyone kind of felt bad for him. And I said, quote, together we will change Gotham. And everyone was still supportive of that. And then Vicky Vale asked it a question. It was confused, so I just said nothing. Oh, and during that conversation, I said, quote, Falcone's no friend. After all, Falcone is a... Well, I'll explain later in the story. And then Alfred kept texting me, so I had to read the text. And then after some audience got confused about the whole Wayne family, criminal, blah 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 stuff, I said, I doubt your evidence. And then after some pressuring conversation, I said, that's absurd. And then Harvey Dent defended me, luckily, as I was feeling a little bit under the weather. And then the GCPT arrived at Wayne Manor, and it was like... And we see Commissioner Gordon. As a nice person, I said, quote, I didn't do anything. And then as confusion, I said, in quote, who authorized this? And then after a confusion talk, I just said nothing again. And then we get to see Bruce Wayne have PTSD flashback memories of parents' death.
You don't have to do this.
Pretty brutal. That scene was actually pretty shocking when I first saw it, so that's why I saw some tickets. Vicky Vale come up and I said, no problem at all. As a nice scene, after she said, is everything alright? And then Vicky Vale offered me a favor, and I said, quote, I appreciate it. And just like how we all hate Falcone, I said, quote, Falcone is behind this. And I told Vicky Vale to give a quote. And rather than saying justice will be served, I said my family is innocent. Then I told Harvey someone is after me.
Mayor Hill authorized this?
Yeah, and the cops raid my house, taking everything related to Wayne Enterprises. Computers, hard drives, files.
Oh, son of a bitch. You're the goddamn DA, Harvey. I didn't know about this. I swear.
To be respectful, I said I believed you and he's blindsided both of us. And then I told Harvey that it's still Falcone. And after talking about Falcone, I said, quote, we'll stick together. And then we see a familiar face. The eye patch, the scar. Yep, by that moment, they found out.
Tell me you were bringing your friend to dinner.
This is Selina.
I hope I'm...
I said, quote, I'm Bruce Wayne. And then I told Felicia, what brings you to town? And then after Felicia told me she was mugged by a mask, I said, quote, did you see the guy? And then as respect, I said, they'll understand. So Harvey Dent goes on a phone call, and then from that moment, Batman and Catwoman meet like secret identities. Now they both know each other. Yep. By that moment, they both know each other.
Nice to meet the real you.
Batman. Like respect, I said likewise.
Harvey'd be surprised. Not to mention...
I said, quote, sorry about the eye. And Catwoman said, quote, after that, I won't expose you yet. But I would expose her if I were Batman. Well, those two will be girlfriend, boyfriend eventually. And then I told Catwoman I'm a good guy. And then I said, quote, sounds important. And then as a respect for Bruce Wayne, I said, quote, I can help you. And then I said to Catwoman, you need to trust me.
Being a cat, not a bat.
Wait,
Change into your suit.
don't forget to change your suit. Wow. I would expose Catwoman for that one too. Gotham Docks, Warehouse 133, don't screw it up. And then we go to the docks. And once we open the doors, we see a bunch of gruesome dead people. And then after some investigation, I'm not going to explain the whole death story, then we find the sniper.
Time to go to work.
That part was so epic when he said that on my Switch. And then as a quote, you didn't do this alone. And then I tied him up, got my crowbar or whatever that thing is, and then I said, give me a reason to stop.
Or I start swinging.
Hey, I'm scared of you, man.
So I hit the barrels. As to scare him.
Tell me.
That's all I know. I swear. I told you everything I...
So at the end, I didn't actually break his arm, I just backed off. And then after I didn't break his arm, I talked to Gordon. During the conversation, I said, pleased to meet you, Gordon. And then after all that, I told Gordon you were half an agent and Batman swung off. Sadly, this footage doesn't have that. During an emotional talk with Alfred, I said I did what I had to do. And then I told Alfred, trust me, I won't.
Alleyway. It made me who I am. I can't get it out of my head.
That quote that Alfred said, that was your gifting of hers, that part actually got me while I was playing the game. And then after Alfred showed me the childhood tickets, I accepted the tickets without tearing them apart.
To the fray again.
And then we find out the disk drive. And then we get to this man. And then we discover he's responsible for all the crime scenes. And then after a conversation I said, quote, they're working together. And then, rather than going to Vicky Vale, I went to Gordon. Me and Gordon had a nice talk. And then I told Gordon, you owe me. Well, actually, wait, I take that back, sorry. I said, quote, I trust you. After all, during this game, I am a respectful Bruce Wayne, so yeah. I said I trusted you during my Switch gameplay. And then I told Commissioner Gordon my family deserves justice. And let me tell you, that Batman transformation when I saw it on my Switch, I was like, holy crap, that looks so freaking good. And then after playing my attack featuring Batman's very shiny, magnificent look, and after taking a bunch of bad guys, beating the living crap out of Falcone's men, dodging Falcone's gunshots, grappling up to him, threw a batarang at him, tossed it an EMP-armed tech thing that disables all techs into his place, then drop-kicked it to his window, kicked him, grabbed him by the neck, and then I tossed him in the fire. Then dodged it his AK-47, threw my batarang at his gun, and then I told him, you've lost, Falcone. I'm just kidding, he didn't actually say that. I actually made a YouTube poop version of that. Yeah, I did actually see one of the parts of the first episode, but not the entire first episode. So yeah, that's just an edit that I made. Then after a conversation I had with him, since, like I said earlier, I was a respectful Bruce Wayne, so what I did was arrested Falcone. The reason I arrested him so the police can like me.
Thanks for the assist.
And then I flew away like Superman. Whee! And then the ending kind of frustrated me a little bit. During that scene, I should never have shook his hand in the first place. I actually felt very bad for Bruce Wayne after that. I should never have shook my hands with him. Now here comes the one scene that did... Okay, now this scene right here on the Switch version made me a little bit emotional, so... Yeah, so here it comes.
Suit. The car. This entire cave.
Master Bruce?
Everything!
I built. I created all of this because I didn't want any more innocent people to die. If Falcone's telling the truth about my parents, then what the hell did we do this for?
Bruce,
What have you been hiding from me? Outright!
Not gonna lie about that ending though. That ending did make me feel emotional. No, I didn't cry like PewDiePie, but that ending made my heart drop to my stomach. Like, it really felt very emotional to me, in my opinion. No, I didn't cry, but my heart did drop down to my stomach. The first episode was a 10 out of 10 emotional for me. And during that episode, I should never have shook hands with Falcone. But at the end, the first episode was amazing. 10 out of 10. The second episode that's going to come up eventually is something about with Catwoman and a bar fight I'm not too sure about. But yeah, just to be truthful, I have never seen a full episode of Batman Episode 1. But I am excited to see what the other episodes are like. I'm just very excited for this. And yes, it is confirmed this series will be a full playthrough. That game was pretty fun and... oh my god. Batman! Wow!